Okay. So what would you say right now if somebody wanted to start what you're doing? What advice would you give to somebody who says, I want to be in this space? Ina is my teen idol. I want to put her poster on my bedroom wall. I want to be just like her. How do I get to that? What would you tell that? What would you tell that young lady who wants to be the next Ina? What would you say to her?
I feel like really being comfortable with posting on social media will be key, right? I wouldn't be able to do what I do if it wasn't because I'm a content creator myself.
Yeah.
So that I know what works, what doesn't. I feel like studying the GOATs out there, right?
Yeah.
Like that has been a big thing for me to see like what works in whatever industry you want to get into. So social media is such a vast like industry, right? You can do social media for literally anything. In my previous life, I was doing social media for online coaches and digital product creators, right? So the beauty of it is that you can do social media for anything. So where do you want to be doing the social media? You know that you don't have to do it as a single entrepreneurial venture. You could be doing social media for your favorite company, for your favorite brand. So find where is it that you want to be and then learn everything you can about it. Create your own content, learn about the editing process. I feel like that's one of the biggest things that car dealerships, that car salespeople, once they get into creating content, they realize that creating the content is not the hard part.
Right.
I can create content in 3 minutes, 5 minutes. It doesn't take long. It's the editing, scheduling, creating the caption, choosing the hashtags, tagging anybody, putting the caption on top of the video, making sure that the timing works right with the music, right? Like it's the editing part that takes the longest. So if anybody had my poster picture on their wall, they would get really good at that. And you can do that without having clients. Just start your own brand, your own personal brand, and just start creating that content. Get used to the tools.
Yeah. And that goes back to the women being more detail oriented. If you look at the average woman's content and the average guy's content, I'm going to say women, female. I don't care if I'm saying the wrong word. I don't really care. Yeah. But you look at the average female content and the average male content. The average female content is edited cleaner. It's more detailed. The captions are in the right. I'm just telling you. It's the details. The devil's in the details.
I hear you. And I'm going to speak for myself because I hate to generalize because I don't want you to get any like hate messages about like, but I'm not like that at all. Like, yes, we understand that every woman is beautiful and unique in their own way. Yeah. So I'm going to speak only for myself. And I'm sure other women can relate because I'm not alone in this. I have a history of people pleasing. And this is something that really is a very pervasive feeling, this imposter syndrome, people pleasing, especially in high achieving women. This is a thing. It's a thing that normally, again, generalizing, men don't even have to think about because if you've ever seen the Barbie movie, now we're getting into Barbie.
I just did a video on my other account, a Barbie clip. I don't know. You didn't see it?
You like the best part about that movie is when Ken and Barbie come into the real world and you see that Ken is feeling so encouraged, right? By everything he sees is speaking to him and making him feel like he could be the king of the world. While Barbie joins and she's just being sexually harassed. She's being put down for being pretty. She's being like made feel less than when she's like the most perfect woman in the world in Barbie world, right? And that is a very, very, very real thing that happens in our society. So men who have woken up like Ken and being fed all of these messages that like, you can do anything. They have a much higher sense of self-confidence that whatever they put out there is going to be received as, wow, great, you did amazing. When women is a little bit more like, we put something out there and it has to be perfect. Otherwise, it just doesn't measure up to what the men did.
You're right.
So we have that pressure on us. So I started talking about this because like the people pleasing part. So because of that, because we've had to work way harder at being taken seriously, at having a seat at the table, we end up being more detail oriented. We end up being better at many jobs, even though that's not what that's not what like society will recognize. But like,
right.
I can see what you're saying is that's how I hear it and how
Yeah.
I internalize it, is that me with my personal history of trauma, of being put down, of always trying to make sure people are okay with me,
Yeah.
right? Because if people are not okay with me, then I'm worth nothing, right? It's all of that internal turmoil that happens.
Yeah.
We just externalize it in great work. So
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like,
Yeah.
it's a whole package that you get when you're talking to a high achieving woman.
Motivates you. I mean, but that's interesting, you know, because men have certain innate motivating things as well that we never speak about because we don't talk about our feelings. But
are you going to talk about feelings?
I was going to, but now you're making me second guess it.
No, I want to. Please.
I have to go backwards and like back up on that now because now I'm like, oh, I didn't want to be.
Tell me feelings.
I didn't want to be this transparent. No.
Talk to me.
Well, I mean, you know, so let's call it what it is. So you're growing up, and let's say you're 12, 13, 14 years old as a male. And the first thing you start doing as a young man is you start comparing yourself to other young men and men. And so, you know, some men grow quicker. Some guys grow, get muscular faster. Some guys fill out quicker than other guys. Yeah. You know, so like for me, I remember always looking at other guys my age and finding the differences of how they were superior to me. Yeah. Maybe they, you know, were, although I was a fairly good athlete, I played baseball and football, but there were guys that were far better than me. So, you know, the comparisons would start there. He's faster, he's stronger, he's taller. You know, I wish I came from different parents, so I would have been more athletic. And, you know, so you start, this comparison thing happens with young men. And then it creates an insecurity that you only think is going to go away if you get bigger, get stronger, so you start working out. So you start training and you start doing this and you start doing your hair right and you start buying the right clothes and you start trying to, you know, create this vision of how a man is perceived is so important to him internally. Now, you get to a point in your life where you're, you know, where, okay, I've never really cared what people think about me in general, but I remember being young and caring what people think about how I like to look, right? So there is an insecurity that comes along with being a young man. You know, girls at 12, 13, 14 years old, you know, can already start like, you know, the conveying the prettiness is coming out, and you know what I mean? They have, you know, like, and guys, we're really awkward at that age. You're far less awkward at that age than we are. You know what I mean? And so
we're dealing with a whole other internal turmoil.
So, but you start comparing yourself to other men, and I remember doing that and feeling, you know, less than. You know, so my thing was, I have this weird ability to make people laugh. Like I noticed that a lot of people would laugh around me. You know what I mean? I would just say what came to my head, and I was like, am I funny? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so that kind of became my lane. Like, okay, I can be that smart ass guy who says what nobody else wants to say, but is thinking it. And that started winning me over people, you know? So I started, you know what I mean? So I started to become known as kind of the funny guy, you know what I mean? And, so then you find that identity, but then as you get older and you get to the real world, like you get out of high school, you realize, okay, I was really funny at the high school. I'm not that funny in this big real world. So now you're like, okay, where's my lane now? Unless you're Shane Gillis funny, you know what I mean? Or, you know, one of these famous comedians, like, so now it's like, okay, so a man is always looking, we're always looking for that persona that we're proud of, that everybody else is going to accept, but it's also so deep that it can make you like sort of put your values aside. Like you might have been raised good, but if you become popular because you're the class clown or the cut up or the guy who gets in trouble at a young age, like, and that becomes your persona, despite how you were raised, you're going to keep doing that because it releases those endorphins and makes you feel accepted. So we deal with a lot of insecurities too, that I don't think that a lot of guys talk about, you know. And I remember I had to talk to my son about it one time. I was like, listen, when I was your age, Same. Like, I looked at other guys and I was like, why is he better than me? What, you know what I mean? And it creates this insecurity. And so I passed it on to my sons that is normal, but your struggle, females, you guys, it's a harder road for you guys, and you do deal with a lot more stuff that's out of your control, like you just being a female. This is your world, you know what I mean? Where we're a little bit more blessed, you know what I mean? We wake up in the morning, throw a ball cap on, and a hoodie, go out, and we're good, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you, if I could get back all the time that I have spent putting on makeup, I would be a gajillionaire right now. Like, you have no idea how much time it takes to look flawless. Right? For like being on camera. It's like something guys don't even have to think about. But I wanted just to say out loud how much I appreciate the self-awareness of coming on and saying, yes, we have insecurities too. Totally. That is amazing to hear. That is amazing to hear. So, so just thinking about like men and women and everything, that's why it matters when you have a leadership layer that is multifaceted, right? That's why it matters when you have women and men at the top, so that everybody is keeping an eye on everybody else, right? So it's not just like, because, women go into a man's world, into a man leadership, and it's men who are judging our performance. Correct. Right? And we just talked about how important it is to relate to people, to sell them something. It's the same thing between bosses and employees, right? If I have an employee that I relate to a lot better, that I really like, that we go golfing together or whatever, I'm going to be more prone to be promoting that person that I really like, that I know is really good at their job, versus somebody else who may be equally good at their job and may have an equal chance, right? But I relate to one person better. So when you have more men in the leadership, right, you're going to have more men moving up in the leadership. That's why we need like more variety everywhere.
What I think is funny about this podcast episode is that we are all over the place. We're so passionate like about things. Like I love it. I know we're gonna get the heck out of this thing to make it fit, but like I love it. We're just going, and like I love it.
I think this is really important for car dealerships to hear, like an honest conversation about like what men are feeling, what women are feeling, and like how important it is for like everybody to just have a seat. Like, I think this is such an important episode. I know we're talking less about social media and more like more about gender issues.
It's my fault. I have ADHD. Let me get back on track. So let's get. And I know we're probably going to get off track again, but we'll reel ourselves back in.
I love it. I love talking to you. It's like we can just go anywhere, and I know you're going to give me a piece of your mind, and I love it.
I like it or not, here it comes. So what's your biggest achievement so far, either in your personal life or professional, that you're most proud of?
This is going to sound so like this is just for me.
Okay.
But just not going back to corporate. It was so easy. Like my job in corporate, I loved it. I'm not the person who left because I hated it, because I felt like, no, I left because of a really crummy situation that I just didn't want to have to deal with anymore. Yeah. Right. And the fact that I've been able to stay out and still continue to shift and pivot with the doors opening. That to me has been like the biggest achievement. The fact that, I've already traveled like 3 times this year, and I have 2 more trips coming up, and all for work, doing things that I love to do. Yeah. Right. Also being able to not wake up with an alarm clock. Right.
Great.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's being able to just make my own schedule. Right. So amazing. I know this is like something that very few people will be able to relate, unless you're an entrepreneur, unless you're like, this is what you want to do, is to control your own time. But I feel like that has been like the biggest thing for me, to be able to like, the fact that talking to you, Shawn, is my job. It feels great to me.
I feel bad for you.
It feels amazing to me that this is my job. This is my job. I'm working on a Saturday right now. My son, my 7-year-old, just interrupted our conversation, right? Which didn't make it on air, rightfully so. But you guys should know, like, this is what doing it all looks like, working on a Saturday and having my son knocking on the door asking me why I haven't taken him to the diner yet, right?
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
But this is It's my work. I love being here with you. So the fact that I've been able to make my job something that I absolutely love to do, even on a Saturday, versus feeling like this is something that I have to do or that somebody put on me. I would say like that is the kind of freedom that we should all be striving for.
Yeah. I love it. So that's a pretty big accomplishment. And kudos to you for having the bravery and the you know, and the ability to pivot and see like, hey, this is where I want to go with it and making it work. So that's good. And that's a good point of view that's your biggest, you know, that you're most proud of, to have that ability, because a lot of people can't internalize and see that that's such an important thing to have and be able to do for you and your family. So what keeps you motivated? Like, you wake up, you know, this morning, obviously you were probably pretty motivated to see me, but like
that was it. That's the checkbox.
I had to slip a little arrogance in there.
That's it. That's it.
I know, I'm a little cocky, but anyway. So, but like, what's your what does keep you motivated? Like, I know you have a little fire in your belly. I know you do, and that's why we're friends. Where's that fire come from? What keeps you going? What's motivating?
I love not knowing how my life is going to turn out.
Ooh,
I don't know how to explain this, but the reason I was learning about medical terminology back, you know, when I was in my early 20s, is because I felt uncomfortable with my life.
Mm-hmm.
I felt uncomfortable being in a job where I already knew what the next 30 years of my life were going to look like.
Yeah.
That made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So what I love about this stage in my life, the past, you know, 7 years that I have been on my own, is that I never know what is going to come this year. You can ask me right now, so where do you see yourself in 5 years? I'll be like, I really hope that I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah.
I really hope that it's someplace that I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
All I know is that I have this goal to make every day a fun day doing something that I love to do, doing something that uses my full potential in my brain, right?
Yeah.
And that is going to sound super cocky and braggy, but I feel like I can do a lot of things that other people can't.
Yeah.
So if I don't feel like I'm fulfilling my full potential, I feel like it's a complete waste. I can get depressed. I get like, it's just, life is not worth living unless I really feel like I'm giving everything that I can. So what's keeping me motivated is just that. It's just not like, now is this whole venture that you and I have going on, you know, helping dealerships with social media and getting them out there is a super fun job. So I am here for the duration. And then, you know, as things pivot, as doors continue to open, I just keep walking through them. So it's just been a really fun ride to keep an eye open for open doors.
It's just starting. So if you could go back in time, let's rewind. We're not going to age you, but if you could go back in time and talk to 11-year-old Ina, what would you tell her? What would you say to her? Give her a life lesson, give her advice. What would you do?
I would tell her, and this is going to sound very, like has been overused a little bit, but that it gets better. I was heavily bullied when I was around that age. And everything felt like I didn't deserve to be in this world.
I hate that.
I don't have a picture I can show you here. I think I don't remember where I put it, but
can I have people's name and address who bullied you, please? You
can go talk to them with your fists, like that. Have a conversation.
Give me their socials right
Just
now.
Have a conversation. I have a picture of me turning 11 years old, where I am next to the girls that came to my birthday, the girls in my classroom, and they all looked so much older than me. Like I'm a short person. You know, I'm 5. I tell people I'm 5'1".
You're not 5'1". You're not 5'1".
I'm gonna tell people. I tell people I'm 5'1", and I've always been little, but the fact that I was still dressing like a little girl, right? Like I looked the part of like a 9, 8-year-old, while other girls were so much taller, like a foot taller than me, wearing jeans and a shirt, like normal clothes.
Right.
And I'm here wearing like little girl clothes. And that was brutal for me to be in that environment. So if I had a piece of advice for little Ina, would be that they don't matter, that they are not going to be a part of your life as soon as you're able to get out, and just keep an eye open for your people. Like, and this is what I tell my kids, is that don't worry about them, because they are not going to matter.
No.
They're not going to be part of your life. You stay away from them. You find the people that you feel comfortable with, that you feel like you can trust, that you feel like you can be yourself with. It's something I always ask my kids. I have a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old. And I tell them all the time, like, do you feel like you can be yourself with them? Do they laugh at your jokes? Right? Like, that's all you need. Find those people and just stick with those. That's all you need to just keep building yourself up. You don't need the kids that are going to be mean. The kids that are not, like, the kids that are developing way faster than my son, right? Like, you don't need that. You don't need that energy. Focus on the people that you can trust. That's what I would be telling my little Ina.
Well, that's great advice. And I'm going to transition that over to what we do for a living with social media, because I tell people this all the time, that they're worried about, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not handsome enough, I'm not funny enough, I'm not good on camera, I don't talk good enough. This is why I don't post, because no one cares. No one's going to want to hear what I have to say. Or, people are going to make mean comments. And I stop them right in their tracks and I say, you're 100% right about everything you just said. You're not the prettiest person. You're not the most handsome guy. You're not the funniest guy. You're not the smartest guy. And you are going to get mean comments. So let's just be really clear. That's coming. If you decide to hit that post button, all that stuff is coming. And then I follow it up with, you are trying to find your people. You're trying to find your tribe. And that's what people think is, I got to post, but I got to appeal to everybody. Or what if this? No. I'm trying to find my peeps. I'm trying to find my squad, my people. There is a group of people out there that are going to resonate with you if you post. It doesn't matter how you look, talk, act, what race you are, what sex, whatever. It does not matter. There are people out there waiting and just dying for someone like you to post so they can resonate with you and feel connected with you and follow you. And maybe that turns into a monetization opportunity down the road. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just means you have a friend. But that advice that you give your kids, which I've given my boys the same advice, it's so true when it comes to business and what we do, because the fear of posting is real. People are afraid to post. I have had, really quick, I can name 3 people off the top of my head, I'm not going to name them, that are very big creators right now, or on their way to becoming very big, and that I have had personal conversations with, that they were going to quit. They were going to quit posting. And I said, if you quit posting, I'm showing up at your door, and it's not going to be a friendly visit. You're not going to quit posting. And they're like, well, this, that, and the other, the comments. And I'm like, dude, I piss people off on purpose to get comments. You know what I mean?
I think you have a really healthy perspective on the negative comments. Can you tell us what your philosophy is on dealing with negative comments? I feel like everybody needs to hear this.
Yeah, no, I mean, so like there's a couple, it just depends on the mood I'm in. But like, like if I get a comment here, if somebody's overly rude, I just block them. If you're overly rude, like you crossed the line, like now you're referring to me personally, or God forbid you even dabble in like going to my kids or something personal like that, I'm just going to block you. Now, if you say something kind of smart ass, I probably appreciate that. Like there's been so many guys that have made comments on there and they think that they're going to undergird my skin. And I text, and then my comment back is, that's awesome. Give me more. Like, you know what I mean? Like, cause I love it. Like, give it to me, cause not a lot of people can keep up with my, where I'll go, you know what I mean? So when I find somebody like that, I encourage it. But so there are times, but then there are times when I'm just like, this person deserves a real comment. Like, I'm sorry that you're hurt. I don't know what happened in your life. You know what I mean? It wasn't me. I think it's lame that you've never met me once in your life and that you're making a comment about me that is so descriptive and so personal. Like, so there are times when you have to check people up. It's not always. And these platforms are very sensitive. You can get yourself blocked. I've been on restriction with TikTok. I've been in TikTok jail because I commented in a very goat type of way. And TikTok thought that it was a little bit too much. Great. Great. So I took my beating like a man. I went in TikTok jail and sat there and didn't post. You know what I mean? But I would not change it one bit. And the key is to just be genuine. The key is to just don't try to act like somebody you're not. Don't try to be, if you're not a tough guy, don't act like a tough guy. If you're not, you know what I mean? Just be yourself. But I guess my key to comments is they kind of fall in 3 buckets. It's you're being too rude. You're crossing the line. This is my page, by the way. So it's my page. So I'm going to control the content as much as I want to. So you're blocked. I love blocking people. It's my favorite thing to do. So then the second one is the guy who, I can tell is trying to get a reaction from me. Now that's a comment seeker. Now there are people like that. All they're doing is trying to get under your skin. All they want you to do is acknowledge them because they feel so insignificant in life that they spend time online trying to offend people just to get noticed. Got it. If you're a comment seeker, you're getting nothing from me. So the best way for me to get back to you is just ignore you, right? That hurts you the word. So there's that. And then there are the people that will comment in generalities about like my industry, car salespeople being this and that and this, that, and the other. And most of those, I'll ask people, why? Why are you saying that? Like, I want to know why you're saying that. Like, and I mean it genuinely, like, why do you say that? Like, what happened? I want to know. You know what I mean? Like, I really want to know where this angst is coming from. You know what I mean? And so, and then, my engagement is low. I don't comment on everybody back. You know what I mean? I just don't, because wait till you get to 230,000 followers and you try to comment back on everybody.
Yeah.
You wait to see how much of a job that is.
Just too much.
It's too much.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So, but anyways, I think the key is to always comment, like, be yourself, be genuine. Just block the people who are clearly trying to hurt you or your brand. Just block them.
Yeah.
I even give them the time of day, and I think if you do that, you know what I mean? And what I've seen, so recently, I'll share this with you. Recently, I had a situation where I went after somebody on TikTok because they went after one of my friends. Okay. Not okay. So somebody went after one of my friends, so I went after this person. And it ended badly for me, in my opinion. Not really to me, but like it looked to everybody else, it looks like it ended badly for me. Now, I was smart. I know I'm a car dealer. Everybody already hates me. That's the name of this podcast.
That's the name of the podcast.
Right. So I'm going to go against somebody who is let's call them a advocate for the public. Okay. There's no world where I win that. There's more public supporters than there are car dealer supporters. There's no world where I win that. So I went after somebody, and it ended up with me getting a lot of hate. And so I don't, but here's the thing. People have asked me on there, they have said, hey, I noticed that you got a lot of hate for a while there, sorry you went, whatever, just trying to support me. And I'm like, I wouldn't change a thing, because it was me. It's me that if you go after Ina, I'm coming after you. I don't care if I go to TikTok jail. I don't care if I lose followers. I don't give about followers. I don't. What I care about is genuine connections. So that's, I guess, what I would say is just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to be yourself. Yes, you got to be smart because of their rules and algorithms, but be yourself. I'm Gen X. I'm genuine. You come after one of my friends, I'm coming. I might lose. I've been beat up before. Trust me. I've had my share of black eyes. Trust me, because of this. You know what I mean? But yeah. I would never change it. What I want to know about you is, last question. If you could have dinner with 3 people, they can't all be me. If you could have dinner with 3 people living,
Shawn, and Shawn. 3 Shawns.
Yeah, Shawn, Goat, and live or unalive, who would they be?
Oh, man, I'm just going to sound like an idiot.
It's going to be good. I can tell. I like it. Give it to me. Hit me.
I'm just going to sound like an idiot. I just love hanging out with my friends. I'm sorry. Like I have
great.
really good friends. I have, everybody needs to follow her just immediately. Her name is Elisa Smith.
Okay.
ELYSSA. Elisa Smith. She's a trauma-informed life strategist. She's one of my best friends, and she's also an incredible coach, trauma-informed. She gave a TED Talk that actually I co-wrote with her, and it's now over 120,000 views on YouTube. She's just like a fascinating person that you want on your side all the time. Okay. So Elisa would make it on that list. I think that my next person would have to be just
I've never seen this side of you. I've never seen this.
Somebody, it's just that I warned you. I'm gonna sound like an idiot all along the way. Like my friend Elisa, then somebody like Judd Apatow. Okay. So I admire Judd Apatow's ability to create content that is based on his life. He just like made it on his own, and that gives me like, it empowers me. It gives me hope. It like, he didn't go by anybody's rules. This is something that not a lot of people know, but when he was starting to like, he was like in high school, like making himself known for just like being funny. He sent a message to Jay Leno, who was at the time hosting the Tonight Show, I think. Or he was just a hot, I don't know if he was hosting the Tonight Show yet.
Comedian or whatever,
Yeah, but he sent him a message. And he's like, I want to interview you for my school newspaper. And Jay Leno said yes. And he just went and just picked his brain about comedy and about, like, this is somebody, Judd Apatow is somebody that has just been totally self-made. And I would love some more of that brain. Okay. And then finally, because I just keep having the same dream that we are best friends over and over and over again, it would have to be Taylor Swift. For the same reason. I'm actually a country music lover. My father used to play country music to us growing up. So like when I became an independent woman, I would just listen to country radio all the time. My jam is like country music from 2000 to 2010. Like that's my span. And that's when Taylor Swift came about, right? So I discovered her when she was a country artist. I went to 2 of her concerts while she was a country artist. Once she started switching to pop, it's just not my kind of music anymore. But I still have admired so much her work ethic throughout. Like I have seen her from the first time she came on the global stage onward. I didn't just find her later. I found her when she first started. So that is somebody who has shown such resilience through hate, through everything happening in life, through making her own decisions, making her own team, and just like marching to the beat of her own drum. So Judd Apatow, Taylor Swift, and Elisa Smith.
I like that. That sounds like a good dinner. I like it.
That's my ideal dinner. Take it or leave it. Think I'm an idiot, but that's what it is.
I think that's amazing. So, what's next with you? What's next for you? What any upcoming projects or goals that you want to share? Talk about? Tell me.
I am in the middle of growing the Auto Social consultant agency. So what we do is we go to dealerships, we create the content for them, we edit it, we post it to their social media, because we realize that if they want to get started, the hardest part is to come up with that content, going and recording, and then editing, posting, and doing everything else that comes after. So we have different ways to help them. Right? We're partnering up with you, with the GOAT. So
that's my favorite thing.
Right? So when you go out there and you train these car salespeople on how to create content, Auto Social Consulting, my company, is the one that takes everything that comes after. So suppose you train their staff on how to create content. Please, this is like I'm begging car dealerships to realize this. Don't leave them alone to their own devices to create, edit, post, schedule, create copy. Don't do that to them. It is like 90% of the work of posting is that editing and copywriting piece. Don't do that to them. Let them continue to sell cars. So after the GOAT has trained them on how to create the content, let them send all of that raw video to us. Right? we have our little army of social media managers that are going to create amazing content with it, link it to the right audio for the trend so that it can go the distance, republish it to all of the other social media platforms, right? We can do that for you. All you have to do is just plug into our process of sending us the videos, and we'll keep your social media going. We'll keep an eye on the trends, on the analytics. We'll tell you what's working and what isn't. We'll give them ideas. We have a program where we can give them, these are the trends happening this week. Go and create, go get in on those trends. So don't leave them alone. So that's what I'm most looking forward to growing this year. Is like getting my dealerships online with minimal effort so they can keep selling cars.
Love it. How do people get a hold of you if they want to connect?
You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm actually the only Ina Coveney in the world. So as long as you're spelling it right, and you should be able to see it here in this video or in this podcast, Ina Coveney is how you find me on LinkedIn. You can also follow me on TikTok or Instagram as Auto Social Gal. No periods, no dashes, no underscores. Auto Social Gal.
Yeah. Well, I want to let you know how much this is meant to me that you came on here, and how much fun I've had talking to you. We could go forever. I mean, it's so funny. Like, this is the longest podcast episode in the world. We might just call Netflix and make it a TV show or a movie.
Right?
This is we went a little bit long.
We should have a Netflix show.
Oh, like, 100%. I'm waiting.
100%.
Yeah, call Netflix. When we get off the
phone.
We're
going to call them. We're going to pitch this.
Yeah. Or A&E. Okay? I don't care who it is. Yeah. Like whatever. A&E, Netflix, Amazon.
We'll take a deal.
I'm down for all of them.
Yeah.
So anyway, but thank you so much for being on here. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being in business with us, me and my team. And thanks for giving us so much insight into Ina and being transparent and just being yourself. It's been awesome.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for being so open. I'm telling you, I tell people to just wear your heart on your sleeve. Like, what you see is what you get with you, which I appreciate. Is something I really appreciate about my friends, about the people that I interact with. I don't have time and I don't have patience for people who are not real, for people who are not really showing their true colors. And with you, it's just so easy, so easy. Awesome. So thank you for having me. This was fun.
Well, I hope we can do it again. So for those of you that are out there, if you're in the automotive industry and you're ready to take your sales game and social media presence to the next level, and your knowledge of this industry, you need to check out this podcast, the Everyone Hates Car Salesmen podcast. You also need to check out my friend, Ina Coveney at Auto Social Consulting as well. And if you're in the trenches making car deals, if you're running a store, if you're a dealer, or if you're a manager, or whatever it is, whatever information and knowledge you need, I feel like between people like myself and Ina, we're trying to build this platform to empower you guys individually, personally, store level, brand level, whatever it is. So that's what we do. So if you like this podcast, please like, share, subscribe. Again, post it. No, works for me. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm put it on a rest stop on the highway. I could care less. Just put the link out there. You know what I mean? So, but find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're everywhere. Wherever you get your podcasts, we are there. Thanks again to Credit Saint, our sponsor. Not going through that whole long thing again. I'm sorry, Credit Saint. Ina and I took up your advertising space. So, Ina, thank you again. You're amazing.
Thank you.
So cool. I love it.
Thank you.
Thanks again. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. See you next time on the Everyone Hates Car Salesman podcast.